We're going to go all the way to the end and then bring people back. Okay, we're going to start here. Shirley Tucker, if you can come back to your pieces. She may not know where her pieces are. Shirley and your crew. As Shirley makes her way back here. Come on, I want all of you back here. Don't be shy. Come on. Okay, let's start talking about your work. So, first of all, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. I am Rojas. I curated this show, and as I like to say, I am incredibly proud of all of the artists that we represent through the show, that we represent at our museum, and I am so grateful that we've had the opportunity, that we were invited to collaborate with the Ohio Arts Council, with the Riffe Gallery, this show, because it's really important and it really highlights what African American artists are doing throughout the state of Ohio. And I just want to say that there are so many other African American artists that all deserve to be here, but we had to make some tough choices, and we wanted to really have a good cross section throughout the state. And so what you see here is just really the tip of the iceberg. So now, these pieces are designed by Shirley Tucker. Shirley Tucker is our artist standing right here. But they are completed by her team of young artists. And these young artists, can we say that they are part of the, do you want to say exactly the?
Yeah, I work for Juvenile Probation Services, and we have 2 art programs through Juvenile Court. One is our HALO program, which stands for Helping Adolescents Achieve Long-Term Objectives, and that's a collaboration between Juvenile Court and the K-12 Gallery. This particular group of youth that I have are also part of my Saturday group that I created in 2013 called SAG, which stands for Saturday Art Group. And what we do is just a very strong program to where our principles are strength-based. And we do a lot of different art activities. We engage our youth in different art programs. We take them on several field trips. And so far, we've done a total of 21 murals in Dayton. So it's a very strong program. And it's a program to where I engage with my young people. There's a total of maybe 15 young people that I have on Thursdays at the K-12, and then on Saturday, it's probably 68. It's a 6 to 8 youth. So my goal is to let our youth know that, we all have challenges and circumstances that we go through, but if you apply yourself, there's nothing that you cannot achieve. The court, we have a strong program. I believe in our young people. The court's foundations and principles believe in them, and Rosa, and all the great things you're doing. So we're just thankful to be here, and we're just thankful to have an opportunity. And I'm blessed to have an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of young people on my way. So thank you.
I invite all of you as we go through, after the tour, to go through and read each and every one of the artist statements, because they really give a little bit more information, and also one of the a strong mission that we have at our museum is to really create the platform for visual artists and other unheard voices to really have a chance to amplify their voice. And so it was important for me to include at least a quote, even if it's just a few lines from each of the artists directly into the artist statement. So be sure to go through, and then hopefully by the end of the tour, most of the artists will be here, and be sure to introduce yourself and ask them directly about their work as well. So I'm just going to read the title of these pieces, but I think that Shirley has already talked about them. Two Paths Diverged is this piece. Identity is this piece, and Social Justice is this piece. All right.
Rosa,
Yes.
can you just introduce the artist?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You want to say your name and what school you go to?
Hi, my name is Shavonda Sims, and I go to Negro High School.
A little louder.
My name is Savon Sims, and I go to Denton Middle.
My name is Reagan Skills. I'm going to
My name is Antonia Dawson, and I go to Stivers School for the Arts.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Tony. All right, great. Let's move on to Lisa McLyman. Lisa, you have. Okay, this is Lisa McLyman, and she, sorry, I forget you can't hear me. Do you just want to say a sentence or two?
Sure. Well, I'm so thankful for this chance to have my work in the show. I'll say that. Thank you very much. These pieces celebrate women of color primarily. This four show the seasons and a passing of emotion and growth through the seasons. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. And then on the end, I do a lot of portraits of my good friend Sharon, who may or may not be here. Counterfeit Madison. She'll be performing today. Did I just see her? She's my otherworldly inspiration that speaks to everything that my work is about, which is peace, love, and empowerment, and honoring our people. So, universe speak peace, and I believe in you are the last two pieces. And the last piece on the end is the very newest one I've done.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so next we'll move on to Ron Anderson. Is Ron here yet? No, okay. So Ron Anderson, his work, if you can, well, you can see clearly, it's a lot about entertainers and the nightlife, the night scene. And this body of work, anyway, that I selected for the show, because he's got various different themes that he has worked with throughout the years. But the thing that is prevalent throughout his work is that the audience is brought in as a voyeur. So you are really looking, kind of peeking in on a scene. He's just kind of like a fly on the wall, watching what's happening with people when they're just comfortable in their environment, doing their thing after hours. So that's, I would like to call that spicy and kind of fun. And certainly his use of accent with colors and the way that he draws you in with the shapes and the contrast. And oh, what's this? Thingy? A thingy? A pointer
Yes.
thingy? Oh, don't blind anyone with it? Okay, got it. So, okay, so I have to do 2 minutes here. So in this one, this is actually an industrial scene. And the interesting thing about his work is that you would think that it's something, it's a place that you've actually been to, any of these. But the truth is that these are all in dream state, so they don't physically exist. He compiles it from his dreams or things that he would like to see happening or coming together. So, okay, move on. Is Bruce here yet? Bruce Robinson. Okay. So Bruce's work, which is these 3 pieces and these 2 pieces hanging on the side here. What's interesting about Bruce's work, and I've seen quite a bit of his work, I've curated in several shows now, and it's always different, and it's always, because his work is very experimental, and that's what he likes to do. He works hard at playing with materials. So in these 3 pieces here, you can see how this is actually plywood, and he works a lot with the positive and negative space. And it's this one, well, actually, Ron Anderson's work and Bruce's work alike are influenced by jazz music and also this idea of you being invited to look through like these here, all of these. So there's that element where he engages the viewer to be part of the exhibit as well. But he really pushes the material to the edge, so to see how much you can get away with before the material falls apart and it's not recognizable as a part of it. So really. Okay, James Paget. James, are you here? No, not yet. Okay. James' work. These again are just a small sampling of his work, these 2 pieces here. But I really like showing, and why I chose these 2 pieces, is I really like showing an earlier work by James and then a more current piece by him. And if you look closely, you can see the silhouettes of heads and faces and shapes in here. And he's created this new language that he's been working with, and it is the thread throughout all of his work. And he calls it trigeminal, and the name of this piece is Trigeminal Maze of Expressions. So what that refers to is this nerve that runs through, and my doctor's here so she can correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a nerve that runs through, I guess, the core, maybe up the back of the head and to the spine, and he's using that nerve as a connecting factor to look at human emotion and how you express emotion through your face and through that nerve. And so that is the line work that's represented here. And this one was actually inspired by a trip he took to Egypt. And so you can see that there are the colors that he experienced there, and then the line work, pyramids and sand dunes. So there is a strong connection between the 2 pieces, and yet they were really years apart. So you can see how his work has evolved. All right, this way. Oh, yeah, be careful with this piece, because... Thank you, Derek. Derek is one of our curators. Joe Howard. Is Joe here? Joe, come up. Come and shine. So Joe Howard I think his work is amazing because he can do this in 2D and then he can do this in 3D. And I think there are a few artists that can really master that level of detail. So do you want to just talk a little bit about his work is influenced by nature?
Got me here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah, talking about used to this. Yes, as far as what I do, I'm truly influenced by nature, as she says. I love the outdoors, and I love the outdoors, and I love the human element as well. So I also paint figures, but nature is just it is what I am. This painting, for example, I paint realistic, but as I tell anybody, realism is really abstraction. It's just taken to another level. And it's hard for me to speak right now, but this is what I do. This is what I do. The sculpture, the bronze, is something I've always wanted to do, but never did it. I haven't been doing it really all that long. Probably about 15 years or so that I've been doing it on and on. And just recently, I guess I can go ahead and share it now. I've been commissioned to do a Civil War monument in the state of Tennessee, which I'm excited about. And that will but outside that, I guess I've been passing that.
Okay, let's skip across to April Tsunami. April, are you here? April, not here yet? Okay. If I can read through here. So April is another artist that works with the underlying theme of identity, but also she tries to, or highlights the female strength. And so you'll see throughout her work, and again, this is a very small sampling of her work, how she uses the materials to really accent the point that she's trying to bring across. So some of her pieces really look like altar pieces where they come out and really fill the entire space and engage the viewer to really consider and think about what she's trying to say through the actual material that she uses. And so there's a spirituality to her work. There is a sense. Battery died. All right, you're gonna have to, can you hear me? I'll speak really loud. It died, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do it. Working that? Maybe it was my fault. Okay, so there's a real sense of spirituality, but at the same time, you can, what she's trying to say is that these women are mothers, and they represent every female in your life, and how they are there for you and through the community, and what happened. Oh, time. Okay, I gotta hurry up. So I'm sure April will be here, and you can talk to her more about these pieces. I have to speed it up so that every artist gets a chance. All right, next we're gonna come back across to these sculptures that are.
Johnny is here.
Oh, Johnny, where are you?
Right here.
Johnny!
Hello.
Johnny, there is no way that I can do justice to speaking about your work. It's so great to finally meet you in person. Do you want to say just a couple words about your pieces? I'm going to introduce Johnny by saying that just like April's pieces, he also is very conceptual, and which means that every material that he chooses speaks to it and was specifically picked and worked into the piece to represent something.
All right. Quickly, good afternoon, everybody. So these pieces, each of them are pieces that were composed for an artist. The one in the corner right there is Lifted for Shoulders. Shoulders is my older brother. His name is Wendell Logan, and he was the founder of Jazz Studies at Oberlin College. He pushed that program that he built, imagined, and then supported until he retired uphill at a conservatory, the oldest conservatory in the country, Oberlin College. Jazz Studies, black music, so. This is for a poet who I deeply love and learn a lot from. His name is Kamal Dawood, and he is, along with Billy Higgins, the co-founder of the World Stage in Lamert Park, Los Angeles. If you don't know Kamal Dawood's work, you should. He is a griot of the highest order. This is for Yusef Lateef. Most of you are probably familiar with Brother Yusef. He's a master composer, reed player, and as an elder, I had a chance to meet him. A buddy of mine was mentored by Brother Yusef, and I met him at Oberlin College, and a man in his 90s stood ramrod straight, spoke softly, and was one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever graced to meet. So this is Seated Elder. I think I have to read the tag, but it's an homage to a beautiful human being. So those are the pieces. All right.
See, I couldn't give you that level of detail. Okay. Yeah. Faith is going to be here, but she has to run out of her other job. Okay. Faith Moore. Her pieces are amazing because they're actually about the process that she used to get here. That is part of the art work of it. So what she's done is she has photographed some women. Each one represents a different woman. And then she went back and she, through a different photographic process, then and through exposure, pulled away or took away some of the image. And so they all relate to a direct quote from each of the women. So her work is probably the one that is the most abstract here. And what I love about it is that it draws you in, it pulls you into dig deeper and figure out what is she trying to say and how is she representing each of the women. So it's very different photographic style than our other photographer that you'll see at the other end. But both still are representing through a photographic process. So, thank you. Let's get started. Now, Tally, are you here? No, Tally's not here yet. Okay. So Tally's work, Tally Mamazi, again, like many of the other artists, does a great variety of work and themes, but these two pieces in particular I chose for this exhibit because they are talking about his working through grief. And these were as a result of the death of his son. And it was a very painful time for him, a time of darkness, but these are about how he finally came out of the darkness. And he is represented through the icon of the dove. And he uses the calabash in both of those And you'll see that icon through many of his other pieces, and they represent his connection back to Africa and his heritage and culture. So, out of the darkness, he is coming to a positive place. And that's now, Morris is here. So Morris Howard has these two pieces and those two pieces right behind it. And I chose to pick pieces that were based on identity of people directly, and then really identity of a community, and also documenting of a specific time, a moment in time, and location. Do you want to say a couple words?
Good afternoon, everybody. These pieces behind you are pieces. Yeah, those are the pieces from the top one is from Baltimore, Maryland. That was 2009, January, Monday, one day before the inauguration of Barack Obama in 2009. And the one on the bottom is some people that I was at the inauguration, so there were people that threw up this big rubber globe, and I just, caught it, in the air with a shot and played it later on. And this is my great uncle Mitchell, which was my grandfather Morris's brother. And it's a long time ago. It was my grandfather had 12 brothers and sisters. He was from a town that they changed the name. It was Steen Creek, Mississippi, when he was born. He was born in 1900. And my grandfather was the oldest. He was born in 1889. And this painting here was a family friend, and she lives in Nashville now, but at the time, we both lived in Memphis. And I just like that hat, so I decided to paint it. But, and these are, as Rosa said, these are personal, and those are community. Thank you.
So one more thing I'm going to say about Morris that he didn't mention is that he's also a mural artist and has worked with community with youth groups to paint murals and painting. Thank you. Okay, Jimmy. I don't think Jimmy's here. No, Jimmy Jones. Okay. I'll talk about what page is it now. Okay, take your coat off and then I'll let you see. Okay, Jimmy Jones did these two pieces, that piece there, and the one on that wall. So I'll talk first about these two pieces because they are S.S. Turner, slave ship, and Frederick Douglass. So these two pieces, what Jimmy is really, I'm tempted to say really good at it, he's really good at all of his paintings. But what I appreciate about a lot of his earlier pieces is that he really is taking the time to document historic events. And this piece in particular came from research that he was doing on a different project, and he came across information that he realized had not been shared, and then because of that would be lost and people would know about it. So he created this painting to document that, and the same with Frederick Douglass because he saw him as one of his heroes, and he wanted to make sure that people, especially youth, knew about him for generations to come. And he wanted to make sure that I included these pieces, which are his new series, new body of work that he's doing on the female. So there's a lot of, which I love to see, a lot of female, the identity of the woman throughout all, as a theme throughout all of the show. And so, in particular, this is a young girl that I guess served as a model for him often, and he really loved, in this particular case, this look of defiance and kind of this quiet inner strength, and he really captured that in her look. And then this is another model that he's used a lot in his work, but she just had a baby, and so he just used that part to show motherhood. But the other thing that's interesting about his work is that he always includes some other kind of hidden details in the back that you have to just dig deeper to figure out what they are. In this case, this is actually referring to when Notre Dame was burning. He made sure to record that. So even though you would think that he's moving on to painting about the identity of women, he's still recording history. You can't get away from that. That's just who he is. Okay. And I should also mention, even though he's not here, we can't applaud for him, but we can still applaud for him, but he's not here to hear it. He has a piece that's been accepted to the permanent collection for the Smithsonian. Oh, yeah. Good. It's all right, Queen. I have not seen Queen right here. Queen Brooks, no? She's on her way. She's on her way. I know you're all over here for the party. Okay, Queen Brooks. I'm going to stick with your old time. Not that we're all but and what I love about her work is that I have seen it grow and develop over the years. And every time that she does an exhibit, it's really working through a completely different set of materials. So she started out, this is one of the earlier pieces that's part of our collection, and she started out doing wood burning and cutting. And she is a great storyteller, and so she's using different icons referring to her heritage in Africa. And these actually speak more to, which is her more current work, speak more to identity. And still, though, there's a connection to her heritage in Africa, as they are masks and head pieces. But she's bringing them into what's happening in her life today, so making them relevant to her and her work with the community and with other people. So an important subject for her, and this was called Elder Wisdom, is working with the senior community and involving and engaging them. And that's what this one refers to.
All right, let's get everybody moved out front so you can see the work that.
Oh yeah, come on out. Come on through. We have 4 more to go. A little more. Okay. Derek? Yes. One second. Okay, Willis Davis, who we all know as Bing. And Bing is not here, because if you were here, you you would definitely know. Because he wears such striking outfits and everything. Okay, so Ben's work, he has been doing this series of really gestural oil pastel pieces for years now. And actually, we've got quite a few of them in our collection. But this is a more current version. Oh, thank you. Excuse me. So this one is called Ancestral Spirit Dance number 415. So he's done 415 of them up to this point, but I know that he does these every day. When I went to his studio to choose his pieces, he was working on it. I mean, he just has them on the wall, and he just, like every minute he has, every free moment, he's working on another one. But, so you can see his African connection here through the textiles that he's drawing from. And these now are more recent pieces created in 2018, and they, actually this one is in our collection now, and they use still textile but found objects, and what's interesting is that you still see the African connection through the mask, the idea of mask and identity and headpiece, but he's again bringing it into his modern and current story today, and how that's representing kind of being the warrior in his own community. So he's a great, and he has a gallery at MIA, and I invite you guys also out and see his work in Dayton. Okay, Tracy, these three pieces, and then these two stock and actually here in the middle, and everyone should come into this area. Okay, so Tracy is an artist that is near and dear to my heart now. All the artists are, but I've gotten to know her through this selection of her pieces even more during this exhibit. And what I in particular love about her work, let's talk about this one first. So she has taken the traditional and stereotypical mammy pot, and she has brought it into a representation of the real African American woman. And so this one, which I hope to own one day, I seriously do, because I absolutely love it and want it, and it's called Black Mary. And this is based on a real woman who was a postal worker, and she walked around with a pistol, smoking her cigar, delivering the mail. Now, you wouldn't mess with her. I wouldn't mess with her. And so that was so she took the spirit of the real woman and documented and is telling that story. This piece in the center here is actually from our collection, and it is Obama's victory. And it represents the joy. And then this is Whistle While You Work, which, although may be referring to the African American woman in service, you can tell there, or I can get from it, draw from it, that there's so much more to her, that it's actually a very complex figure, and though she's whistling while she works, all that she really brings to the household. Okay, now, these pieces here, this one on the left is something like a breakdown. What's interesting about both these pieces is that now she studied and learned this ancient Chinese method of pottery, which is a double wall, and she uses that in both, and many of her pieces, she has perfected that, and in a lot of her other pieces, she uses that second layer to help gain depth in her work. So this one, Something Like a Breakdown, is a real personal expression of a breakup that she was going through in a relationship where she didn't get a chance at closure. So this was her way of working through what was going on. She didn't get to speak to the man, and he just dropped out of the picture. And so when you get a chance, come and really look all the way around. So this is a perfect example of art as expression and therapy. And then this piece is Concrete Jungle, and it talks about both the migration, early migration down the lower level, and all the way up to today and living in urban cities and the concrete jungle that represents. So that's all right there. So she brings it back to connecting to communities. Okay, Dr. Mesloumi's work. Can hear. So Dr. Meslumi is world renowned for her big quilts and for her work with quilt makers. So she started the Women of Colors Quilting Network. I believe I got the right title. And they have produced numerous exhibits. Several of them have opened at our museum. And these are the way that she starts out with her pieces now. She creates them on the computer, has them silk screen on a large piece of fabric, and then goes in and does the quilting herself. And so these have been created into full quilts, and we were fortunate enough that she could lend us these pieces for this exhibit. So the underlying theme here is family, and the idea that a quilt can wrap you in love and warmth and the security and personal feeling of fabric and quilt. Okay, and Tariq, I know you're here. I always like to give artists an opportunity to speak about their art. Tariq Ture has this is just a small portion of the photographs that he's done. And there's a piece here too, so I want everyone to see all of the pieces. Now please, speak a little bit.
I'll be quick.
Okay.
All right, I know thank you all for coming. First, I want to thank the Ohio Arts Council and Riffe, Cat, where's Cat? There's Cat. And definitely our favorite curator to showing us all the work that today. So my area of focus really is about forced migration, and America is actually founded on forced migration. The idea of us running away from fleeing persecution is what I focus on. And currently, Abdi Roba and I, many years ago, a friend of mine started a Somali documentary project where we focus on Somali forced migration in late 1990s and early 2000s. And I focus also on the Bhutanese Nepali forced migration as well. And currently this project, most of it is about the Congolese who are arriving today. So this type of work is always self-funded. It's very hard, it's very long, but the idea is to keep the people who are being persecuted in our minds and our hearts is what I want to focus on. So Thank you. I'll be here. Please ask questions.
Why do you choose to do the photography the way you do?
Why do I choose to do the photography the way I do? It's tactile. This is all film. I process, I print, I want to create a longevity for a very long time. American Civil War was done on a silver base, and those negatives are still around. I want to keep this for the next 150 years to 200 years for our great-grandchildren to make sure that they can look at this and experiment and focus on never again. So thank you.
Okay, so that concludes our tour of the artists, but before I release everyone to the partying, I just want to introduce our team. Dr. Wash. Okay, Dr. Wash is making his way up. Everybody, start making your way up. Don't make me call you. You know who you are. Don't make me call you out. Give me echoes. Okay. It takes a lot of people. I am just the face of this exhibit as a curator, but it really takes a full team to put this together. I'm going to introduce my peeps, and then Kat. I will introduce Kat, and then Kat will, if you've got, wrap it up. Okay. Dr. Wash is our director. And Barbie is our assistant director. Our two curators, part of the curatorial team, is Hadley Drodge and Derek Pridemore. Our archivist, James, okay, we call him James. So James is kind of like, that guy. McKinnon. And our everything else is Talitha Sidney, also an artist and a photographer. And then Linda, there are a few folks that are holding down the fort because we're open, our museum is open today. And so that is Linda Collins, who is our collections manager. I knew that. And then Greg Harris and Jamita Royal. Okay. Yes, if Dr. Wash can just talk a minute and just say hello.
Just if you want to, about
The director, we're giving you the floor.
Okay, well, thank you. So thank you to Rosa and the whole team. This is a phenomenal exhibit. All the artists, I just want to thank you guys for what you do because you inspire me. Since I've been around Rosa and the annual art show that we do every year, I learn something new every single time. The things that motivate you guys as artists, I'm finding so much value in that because it's motivating me as well. Is that Bing Davis that just walked in?
Yes.
How are you, sir? There's lots of other artists coming in. I just want to thank you guys for what you do. I do also want to acknowledge some of our colleagues that are here from the Ohio History Connection, from the center itself. I know Fred Smith was out there. I think Tom Wolf, I saw you guys. Thank you guys for the support as well. Kat Sheridan, I mean, this doesn't happen without you guys. This is a phenomenal space. And just thank you, thank you, thank you. This is awesome.
One more round of applause for Rosa. You did a phenomenal job. It takes an incredible vision to be able to parse down from such a wealth of talent that we have here in Ohio. And this exhibition is a phenomenal cross-section of approaches and eyes toward the representation of experience in Ohio, but as human beings. So what I really loved about what you said at an earlier interview is that the beauty of art is what you bring to it as a viewer. So come, enjoy, dive deep, ask questions of the artists. And thank you all so much for coming. We'll be here, lots of artists, ask them questions, talk to them about their work. They want to talk to you, so don't be shy. The Ohio Arts Council is incredibly pleased to be able to share this exhibition with you. It will be up until April 11th. Come back often, bring friends, bring family. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great time.